of these things is just totally different than any other python I've ever handled. They look, and even more so than some colubrids that have keeled scales, it just feels different. I guess it's because they move differently. So, again, my favorite snake ever. So, if you've not had a chance to see these things up close, if you've not had a chance to handle these things, and you're into Morelia or green trees or pythons in general, this is something you should look into, something you should do, and this is something you should get. I'm really hoping in the next couple of years to produce a bunch of these and not let any of you buy them. They're very inquisitive too. And they do not mind laying out. She has cork bark all in her enclosure, and she'll curl up and lay on top of them. They don't perch like chondros. They prefer larger, flatter surfaces, almost like rock crevices. So she'll lay on a big piece of flat cork if it's laid out, but a perch, she will not perch on that. So it's just kind of their own personal preference. So, don't do that. Alright, so, this is a gold-phased white lip. This is Atlas. He's the male of our adult pair, captive born and bred pair of gold-phased white lips. He is in currently with his female, but she is not as nice as him. And he's a bit twitchy on a good day. So, if anything happens, keep rolling. So, they are a gorgeous species. They're not as iridescent as the southern black phase. These are the northern phases. They do sometimes get a little bit more gold depending on individual. He's got a lot of nice gold.
You still see the iridescence going.
You still do, yeah. They're gorgeous animals.
I like the golds.
That's a personal preference. I actually prefer the blacks, but I don't have any blacks at the moment. I just have golds. But they are a calm python. That's not true. They're a difficult python, but they're a gorgeous python. And again, it's something different. Now is when he takes a swipe at my face.
I think he's gonna nail me if he nails somebody.
No, he doubles back. They're one of those that kind of swings left to right.
I still can't understand why they spit up hairballs.
That's just one of those weird things, and if you're not prepared for it and you see it happen, like if you're ever watching somebody's snake collection, that'll be when the white lip spits a hairball. That actually went well.
Yeah, but he worked out pretty good.
You just had to time.
There's still time.
There's always a moment.
Well, that's because you did the Steve Irwin voice.
Yeah, it's all right. You're all right, mate. You're all right. This is the colubrid stuff. You guys know I'm kind of on a little bit of colubrid kick. These are, this is one of the pair of hognoses that we have. Is a watermelon and a something Woma something. I don't know what the hell that little thing is, but they're really cool. I never thought I really liked these things too much, but again, with the keeled scales, I guess I'm a sucker for that stuff. And the funny faces. They got a lot of big attitude in such a tiny little snake. So we'll see what we can get out of these guys. And then I'll be cursing them as I try to scent hoppers with, like, you know.
Show that belly.
Yeah, nice little black belly. There you go.
You show me your belly.
They're very cool little species of snake, and again, it's something a little bit more off the cuff. I know that there's a ton more morph projects with these kind of things, but you know, all the python guys that I do dealings with, they always have like a ton of pythons and maybe one pair of colubrids or a corn snake or a king snake, which was left over from when they first got into it. But I like having more and more colubrids because they can easily breed. You can easily take those eggs and sell without having to think too much about it and just kind of roll with it. Plus, I'm kind of getting into the more of the tinier, weirder colubrids. This is a white-sided black rat snake, as Eric said. I've gotten a thing that is not what it's supposed to be. It is, it's got no black on it, or it's very little. And I think these guys are actually het albino as well, so I'm not even sure what that's going to look like. But they're very cool. I dig the white side look. I also dig rat snakes in general, just black rats, because they are actually a native species to Pennsylvania. So I've actually caught a few regular black rat snakes outside, but this is nowhere near any of that. So
this is a female?
This is the boy, actually. He's actually being really weirdly good. So.
Is this full size?
No. Rat snakes will be about, can be about 5-6 feet. Same thing with the pines and the some of the other rat snakes. They usually get pretty long, longer but not very thick. So they'll be about like that thick around, but about 4 or 5 foot. This is my northern pine snake. I think it's a northern. God, I don't remember. But this is a pine snake. We have a pair of these guys as well from my curtain. I'm actually going to be going into a shed. She's like getting ready to in the next couple days. Normally they're a lot more white, dark black. They're definitely very cool. Again, another kind of eastern coast rat snake species. So they got this nice little kind of aggressive head kind of going on here that always makes them kind of cool. Almost like you're getting a venomous snake without having to worry about dying. They always look pissed off, like always. And they are definitely the ones that will make a ton of noise with puffing and chuffing and smacking their tails on stuff. They'll actually do the double S up and open mouth hiss. They're very vocal. I had bull snakes at one point, and you could hear them when they were pissed off 3 rooms away. So these things are always something I just wanted to get back. I used to breed them at the zoo that I was working for, and I always used to get the babies and bring them with me to sell with my pythons, and they would always sell before the pythons. Like, they would always fly off the shelf. People love pine snakes. I don't know why, but when I left the zoo, I always kind of wanted a pair, and then I just decided to jump on it, and very glad I did. They're, again, another rough-scaled kind of a snake. Heavy-bodied. They'll be about 4 or 5 foot. These things should eat medium rats, no problem, when they get a little bit bigger. Right now, this is the girl. She's on small rats. So we're trying to see. These are our pair of Womas, which she might bite you. We're trying to get this pair of Womas to breed. The male has been spurring the female pretty much all day, and I think the female was only interested in food. So he's going to keep trying. Hopefully we'll get some. That's the girl right there, and the male is back the other way. But this is our first year trying to produce Womas. The male is trying, and hopefully we'll get some rogue Womas. Bye. Don't put my snakes in your camera, dude.
They're camera hogs.
NPR, you've heard me talk about my Vietnamese blue beauties. This is the boy. They're both kind of going into a shed, which is, of course, figures. These guys are very cool. They're a very inquisitive and very kind of standoff species. Tons of threat displays. They'll puff up their necks. They'll do the very slow tongue flick where they'll leave their tongue kind of hanging out there for a couple of minutes. And this is all based off, we went to Nerd and we got to play with some cave-dwelling rat snakes up there. And we got back and I immediately jumped on fauna to try to find some. I couldn't find any. And I decided that, a Vietnamese blue beauty would kind of just be close enough. And I'm so glad I did it. They have tons of different patterns and colors. It changes a ton as you go down their back to this kind of reticulated pattern, to a kind of a striped pattern down by the tail, to a completely striped tail. There's some banding in there. They're a very cool species. I can't wait for these guys to get bigger. He is about 1.5 years old. He's already on some medium rats, so when he gets to about 2 or 3, we'll give him some a little bit more. These, again, is going to be one of those species that gets very long, but stays relatively slim. So we're going to have to build up something nice for them. I might have them in some kind of really cool display. And of course, these guys, having such a good experience with them, led to more of the Asian rat snakes, like the Rhinos and the red-tailed green rat snakes upstairs. So there's a lot of cool stuff there. This is my one female rhino rat snake. We have a trio here from Buddy Buscemi. And these are another really cool species that I didn't think I would ever kind of have the guts to own. And they're also so easily kept. They're in a rack that has a computer system and has heat, but is set to 78 degrees and is never really on in my room. As you can see, they're going slowly from their baby blue, kind of grayish and a lot of white, to the adult green. You can kind of see it beginning by the head. So that's where she's slowly starting to change color. They'll keep the white in between the scales, which you'll see when they move, but eventually they'll be solid green. They're a little bit of a shy species. They like to climb, like to move. I usually just set their food in there and let them do what they're going to do. But like I said, room temperature, they don't need much. They do like big water bowls they can curl up in. I usually try to give them some hide boxes with some wet sphagnum moss in there that they use every once in a while. But other than that, a very cool, very easy species of rat snake. Something, if you're into rat snakes, you're into colubrids, this is something I think everybody should give it a try. They're not really that difficult. There is something saying that these guys might be rear fang venomous. So they're just so reluctant to bite though that it's not really that much of an issue in my opinion. Also, just stay away from their mouths. Really not that hard. These are the two females. Male is in there somewhere. They're basking up there. Andrew Llewellyn is a friend of mine. They belong to him. I'm just babysitting, but he's had success breeding these guys in captivity, actually. They're very cool, very tiny species. Flighty. And very intelligent. I gave him a bunch of clams once that had not been opened, and they cracked each one of them open. And I gave them a whole chicken once, and they went Velociraptor style on it. It was kind of fun. Monitors are one of those cool things to have when you know that it can eventually go away. So, yeah, and they're gonna bed down and bury down, and then Big Man will probably come out at some point later on tonight to mark his territory and cruise around. And we haven't gotten any eggs yet, but that is something that might be on the horizon soon. Please don't do it. Okay. These are red-tailed green rat snakes. This is the female right here. Scoping me out. The male kind of just wants to run. There he is. And they're doing the thing, as you can see, she's kind of puffing her neck out a little bit. She's kind of had enough of me. They both need to eat. Both gonna get fed tonight. But they're very good at the slow tongue flick. Hi, they're eyeing me up nice. Very cool species of snake. Another one that was kind of just, somebody told me I should get these on a whim, and I did. I'm very glad I did. Very cool colors. I'm really kind of hoping I get some babies out of these guys. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know if that's the girl or the boy that's whipping their tail all around here. This is nuts.
Yeah.
Someone's not happy.
Well, we don't want you to get nailed, so.
You see that slow tongue?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Both of them are doing
Yeah.
it right now.
Slow tongue flick.
It's like a dog, man.
Yeah, they're cool.
Hanging there, too.